Washington, AP, a high-stakes partisan row quickly broke out Thursday over a confidential FBI report about allegations that Brett Kavanaugh sexually abused women 3 decades ago, with Republicans claiming investigators found no hint of misconduct, and Democrats accusing the White House of slapping crippling constraints on the probe. The verbal battling commenced as the conservative jurists' prospects for winning Senate confirmation to the Supreme Court remained at the mercy of 5 wavering senators, with an initial, critical vote looming Friday. It followed the FBI's early morning release of its investigation, which President Donald Trump reluctantly ordered under pressure from a handful of wavering GOP senators. "There's nothing in it that we didn't already know," Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, R. Iowa, said in a written statement. He said he based his view on a briefing from committee aides and added, "This investigation found no hint of misconduct." Rally opposing Kavanaugh top Democrats fired back after getting their own briefing. The Judiciary panel's top Democrat, Dianne Feinstein of California, said it appeared that the White House had blocked the FBI from doing its job. She said that while Democrats had agreed to limit the probe's scope, we did not agree that the White House should tie the FBI's hands. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, R. Kentucky, has already started a process that will produce a crucial test vote in his polarized chamber Friday on Kavanaugh's fate. Should Republicans get the majority of votes they need, and Vice President Mike Pence is available to cast the tiebreaker, if necessary, that would set up a decisive roll call on his confirmation, likely over the weekend. Rally opposing Kavanaugh Feinstein complained Thursday that agents had not interviewed Kavanaugh or Christine Blasey Ford, who has testified that he sexually attacked her in a locked bedroom during a high school gathering in 1982. Feinstein also said attorneys for Deborah Ramirez, who's claimed Kavanaugh exposed himself to her when both were Yale freshmen, had no indication the FBI had reached out to people she'd offered for corroboration. Grassley said the FBI could not locate any third parties who can attest to any of the allegations, and he said there is no contemporaneous evidence. He provided no specifics. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, DNY, said Democrats' fears that the very limited process laid out for the investigation would restrain the FBI have been realized. He also said, "I disagree with Sen. Grassley's statement that there was no hint of misconduct. Neither side provided any detail about what the report said, constrained by years-old arrangements that require the results of FBI background checks to remain confidential. Earlier, White House spokesman Rod Shaw rebuffed Democrats' complaints, saying, "What critics want is a never-ending fishing expedition into high school drinking." He said the FBI reached out to 10 people and interviewed 9, including several individuals at the request of the Senate, and had a series of follow-up interviews. Following certain leads, Senator Feinstein says the FBI. While the FBI interviews were to focus on sexual assault allegations, Democrats have also questioned Kavanaugh's drinking habits during high school and college and dishonest comments they say he has made about his background. Kavanaugh has said stories of his bad behavior while drinking are exaggerated. 3 women have accused him of sexual misconduct in separate incidents in the 1980s. Kavanaugh, 53, now a judge on the powerful District of Columbia Circuit Court of Appeals, has denied the claims. The White House received the FBI report around 3 a.m. Thursday. Trump weighed in hours later in a tweet in which he denounced what he called the harsh and unfair treatment of Kavanaugh. "This great life cannot be ruined by mean and despicable Democrats and totally uncorroborated allegations." Democratic Sen. Tammy Duckworth of Illinois told reporters Thursday that time slots for reading the FBI file are so full that senators are being told they might have to wait until Friday to read it. "They're so swamped," she said. The report arrived at a Capitol palpably tense over the political stakes of the nomination fight and from aggressive anti-Kavanaugh protesters who have rattled and reportedly harassed senators. Feeding the anxiety was an unusually beefy presence of the U.S. Capitol Police, who were keeping demonstrators and frequently reporters at arm's length by forming wedges around lawmakers walking through corridors. Barring leaks, it was unclear how much of the FBI report, if any, would be made public. While senators from both sides have expressed support for revealing at least parts of the findings, FBI background checks on nominees are supposed to remain confidential, with Republicans clinging to a razor-thin 51-49 Senate majority and 5 senators, including 3 Republicans, still publicly undeclared. The conservative jurist's prospects of Senate confirmation could hinge largely on the file's contents. The 3 undecided GOP senators rebuked Trump for mocking one accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, by mimicking her responses to questions at last week's dramatic Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. Sen. Susan Collins, our Maine, told reporters that Trump's lampooning of Ford at a Tuesday night Mississippi campaign rally was just plain wrong. Sen. Lisa Murkowski, our Alaska, called it wholly inappropriate and in my view unacceptable, and Sen. Jeff Flake, our Rees, said on NBC's Today Show that the remarks were kind of appalling. Those senators, along with Democrats Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota and Joe Manchin of West Virginia, have yet to declare how they will vote. Trump drew laughs Tuesday with his rendition of how Ford answered questions at last week's hearing. "I had one beer, that's the only thing I remember," he stated inaccurately. Underscoring rising tensions, Democrats suggested that previous FBI background checks of Kavanaugh may have unearthed misconduct by the nominee. Democrats wrote to Grassley challenging a Tuesday tweet by GOP aides saying prior investigations never found a whiff of any issue, at all, related in any way to inappropriate sexual behavior or alcohol abuse. Democrats wrote that the GOP tweet contained information that is not accurate. Committee Republicans tweeted in response that their prior tweet was completely truthful and accused Democrats of false smears. Ford, now a California psychology professor, has testified that when the drunken Kavanaugh attacked her, she believed he was trying to rape her. The FBI interviewed several people, including 3 who Ford has said attended a 1982 high school gathering in suburban Maryland where she says Kavanaugh's attack occurred, plus another Kavanaugh friend. The agency has also spoken to a second woman, Deborah Ramirez, who has claimed Kavanaugh exposed himself to her at a Yale party when both were freshmen. What others are clicking on, greater than more stories.